Hello. My name is Mackenzie Bigliazzi, and I'm a wedding and elopement photographer here in Colorado. And I want to talk about the most popular spot to get married for free here in Colorado. The spot is called Loveland Pass. And if you've ever been to the state before, we have lots of passes that go up and over the mountains, okay? Loveland Pass is at 12,000 feet. And Loveland Pass is a beautiful mountain pass that's super accessible. You can drive all the way up it. You do not need to hike anything. It has iconic views of the Continental Divide, and it's a place that's incredibly easy to navigate if you want those epic mountain views that you think of when you come to Colorado without the effort. Because again, I'm a wedding photographer that specializes in bringing the mountains to you. You do not need to hike with me. I will never make you hike. There's lots of places we can go in Colorado. That's the beauty of Colorado. That's why I love Colorado so much. And Loveland Pass is probably one of the top picks that my clients choose. Some things you need to know about Loveland Pass before I take you on a little tour. Loveland Pass can get a little dangerous if there's any weather. So because it's at 12,000 feet, you could be down in Keystone or Breckenridge, one of the towns that surrounds Loveland Pass. It could be beautiful and sunny. You could go to the top of Loveland Pass and it might be snowing. It might be raining. The winds might be crazy. There's been some times when I have taken couples up there and they're like, hey, can we just get a couple of photos and go back down? Totally fine. We plan for that. So something you need to know is that the weather can be a little iffy. And I like to use a website, Mountain Pass, to look at the weather on all these passes that I work on just to see, because again, I could look up Keystone's weather. It's going to be completely different on Loveland Pass. Another thing you need to know about Loveland Pass is that because it's at 12,000 feet, and if you're coming in from out of state, which 90% of my clientele does, they aren't used to the altitude. And altitude is so real. You could be the most fit person and altitude will still sneak up on you. And altitude sickness can be anything from like nausea to headaches to a little bit of tunnel vision. I've had it and I've lived here since 2020. It's just one of those things that affects everybody differently as well. So something I like to tell couples is carry Dramamine. If you feel any of those, pop a Dramamine in 20 minutes, you'll feel better. But you have to prepare for being in high altitude places. So lots of water and lots of snacks. That's how we combat it. And then if you're bringing family along with you or friends, that is something you're going to want to tell them and warn them about, is that we're in a high altitude area and you might feel a little sick. So another thing you should know about Loveland Pass is that it only accommodates intimate groups. Small weddings. You can't go up there and you can't set up chairs. You can't have this huge setup. They don't allow that. You're going to have to talk to the National Forest Service, who owns the land up there, to see what the rules are. And you have to get a special permit to set anything up, because we leave no trace in this state. We take a lot of pride in that. So when it comes to weddings and having them up on the pass, you're going to want to make sure that you're keeping it small, intimate, and you're staying on trail as well. When you get up to Loveland Pass, you're going to see trails. You're going to see obvious places where you should be walking and where you should be standing. We like to stick to those as much as possible. So without further ado, let me show you some photos from Loveland Pass and how amazing it is. And maybe it's a place that you can put on your list to talk to your partner about. The most popular thing people like to do is rent an Airbnb. And they like to rent an Airbnb and start their wedding day at the Airbnb. I personally love it. It gives me time to take photos of you two just being you in a comfortable space instead of throwing you out into the nature immediately. It gives you a variety in gallery as well. So these two rented an Airbnb and out in Breckenridge, and that's nearby Loveland Pass. That's like the number one spot I tell people to stay, just because you won't be way out in the middle of nowhere and you'll have access to like the cute Breckenridge downtown and all of that. So anyway, I met these two at their Airbnb, and we also took photos outside of their Airbnb, but we decided to go up to Loveland Pass for their vows. This is where they exchanged their vows. This is where they read letters from their family. This is where they ate their cake. This is where we took most of the photos, and we watched the sunset. That is something else about Loveland Pass, is that it has this incredible sunset. Incredible. And the sunset will reflect off the mountains. So that's what you're seeing here. That's why there's like no light on top of this, but there's a little light here because it's coming through the valley of the mountains and it's reflecting off the mountains there. It's one of my favorite places to watch the sunset. But this, where we are, is maybe a 5-minute walk, not even, I'm being generous, from the parking lot. That is why it's so lovable. This is the most popular spot to get married, is on this rock here, because it overlooks the lake and you get obviously these craggy rocks behind you. And we're in the middle of summer during this, and you'll see that there's still snow kind of sticking around on the mountains because, again, we're at 12,000 feet. And now you see why it's such a fan favorite. And here's the famous sign that everybody wants to get a photo in front of. This says Loveland Pass at 12,000 feet. We stayed up there till after dark. You see the sun is like really setting, but we were just vibing and hanging out up there. So Loveland Pass will be a great option for you if it's just you and your partner, or you and your partner and maybe just your parents. Intimate groups. Remember, intimate groups. If you're looking for a space that's free and you're flexible on having a plan B and C dependent on weather, that's another talk that I have to have with clients. Is this is amazing, but we are at 12,000 feet. And if it's dangerous up there, or if it's going to make anybody feel weird, I nix it. And I have plans A, B, C, D, E, F in that area, because I work out in Summit County so much. I have infinite amount of spots to go to where we can work around the weather. That is a talk that I do have with clients, is that, hey, this place is free. It's gorgeous. It's amazing. But if the day comes and we need to deal with weather, it's going to be something that we have to make that call, and you have to be okay with that. So I always vet my clients to make sure that they are truly flexible with that, because I never want to get on their wedding day and make them upset or make them remember it like I was pressuring them into something. So I warn them when they choose this spot that, hey, okay, we chose Loveland Pass as our number one spot, but let's talk about B and C options. With all of my clients, I help them plan the day. I help them plan what time they want to do everything. I also connect them to like-minded vendors. So everything is seamless the day of. I even, for these two, I picked up their cake in Denver for them and brought it out to Breckenridge. So I'm here for anyone and everyone so that they have a pleasant experience on their wedding day. These two are eloped in Colorado, but then they went home that following weekend and had a celebration with their friends. That's also super popular right now, is the two-parter, because again, you don't have to be adventurous or athletic or any of these other stupid titles to experience the mountains. You just have to hire me. If Loveland Pass is a place that you want to get married, be sure to take this video and share it with your partner and get their thoughts and feelings about everything. And my emails are always open if you have any questions about anything. I also pay attention to the comments on all of my videos. I am going to do my best to be consistent about bringing these locations in Colorado to life, to give you a little bit of behind the scenes, because you're not going to get that on Instagram. You're going to go to Instagram, see these beautiful places, and not actually see the logistics. I'm taking you behind the scenes of my clients' galleries to provide you with inspiration, but also make sure that you are safe and making the right decision for you and your partner on your wedding day. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.